Hey YouTube, this is Jerry from Roundpaws RCs. How you guys doing today? Doing a little quick update on the maxstone Beast. I just posted a video a couple days ago on its first off-road adventure. It's really pretty much a totally customized maxstone, an Exceed maxstone crawler. It originally, and back in its heyday, was originally a 1/8. And you'll see some videos where I built the chassis for it, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know how RCs are; they never stop. What I've done for the to extend out the tires, because with these big tires, when they steer, they start hitting the links for the suspension that go from the axle to the chassis. You'll see some pictures of that in this video. So basically, what I did is I started out in this is the axle lug hub, I guess, for the 1/8. This is the one for the 1/5 scale maxstone. If you can see right there, it's kind of hard to see, I know, but I've actually threaded it to a 3/8, and this is basically what I'm using. It's a 3/8 machine bolt. Nothing special about it. You can buy it everywhere in any hardware store. Let's see here. So I don't know. So as you can see, I drilled a hole through it, and basically this pushes in like that. Okay, and then as you can see, is I just put a nut on here and locked it in place. Then I just put it in my mill, drilled a hole straight down, and then threaded it. And then there's going to actually be a bolt or screw, if you will, goes through here, and that'll prevent this from being able to spin inside here, because your tire is actually going to bolt onto this one. I just kind of have one mocked up a little bit. I just stuck the screw in here so you can see what I'm talking about. But see, it locks it in place, and then all I do is take these and I thread this together. But I actually have a washer that goes in here. These are just some spare parts laying around right now, so I'm just only showing you this like this. Then what I do is this nut here would normally be the nut that would hold the tire on the 5th scale one. I just wrench it into the washer and then just lock it down really tight, and then I thread lock everything as well. And that's how I got my extensions. And it works good. You've seen the video. So far it's been working out pretty good. I know it's a lot for most people who don't really have the abilities or the equipment to do what I do, but I just do it because it's fun. I like doing it. I like getting creative, you know, and it's just one of those things, I guess. If you're just using one battery pack for your motors and your servos, that's the battery it's going to read. I run a separate battery for servos, and then I have the battery for the LiPo for the motors, and then I just run a 5-pack nickel cell, or a 5-pack metal nickel for running the servos. So that's why you kept hearing the beeping, because it every time you turn, this is what I was using in there, and this is actually just the bridge that holds the main battery down in a battery tray. And so every time you turned, it would do a big draw out of the battery. So the radio would assume that it was dead, and that's why it would start beeping. So I'm going to do 2 packs on this, because I am running the 1/5 scale steering servos. So I'm going to end up taking it off of this, and I'm going to mount them on top of the front servos. Puts a little more weight, not like the car really needs it, but a lot of people were saying that, sent some comments on my channel that this tire really was only 8 inches tall and 3 inches or whatever they said wide, and I think they were confused thinking that it was a factory original tires on there. This is actually the factory original tire. Oh, let's go on this side. Now that's the tire you would actually get on any 1/8 or 1/5 maxstone. This one right here, that's the originals. So it's obvious that this tire is way much taller than 8 inches. So they're pretty beastie sized tires. and got to admit, they were pretty pricey too. If you ever seen a video of my video called Little Sister, you will actually see it was a 6x6x6, and I was running these tires on there with these axles like this. Not this part originally, but then once I started running the big tires, I had to. Let's see. I don't know how well we can see in there, but it's just basically a Novak M2 speed controller, their Dig speed controller. It was an old one setup I had laying around for a long time. And then I'm just running their 45 turn Rockstars in there. You'll have seen this in a few of my other cars. Actually, they were originally in my orange maxstone. But then I ended up switching those to the Triax 550 motors. And then so I put these in here because trying to keep the power, the torque down a little bit because of the size of the tires. I didn't want them stripping out the gears in there. When I first did Little Sister, you could actually see here the gears getting stripped out, but granted they were the plastic ones in there. So now these are the gears that I'm running in there now, and I also have these in my orange maxstone. These are by Integi, and let's see if we can get a part number come up in here. Sorry folks, I know, there we go. It's AFA C0002, and it's actually for their, I think they call it an iRock, and it's Integi's version of a rock crawler, but it's exactly the same thing as the maxstone car. They changed a couple of things more on their chassis and, you know, a couple of things here and there, but you know what, for the most part, it's the exact same thing. You can see right there, they're the aluminum ones in there with the brass pinion gears. Sorry folks, I know my phone's kind of having a hard time focusing. So as you can see, there's the metal gears inside right there, and then that's the brass gear. When you get the gears from Integi, it's the same gear ratio as the maxstone's 8 scale. Now I know when they came out with their 5th scale, they actually had a different gear ratio, you know, a different teeth for the transmission gears. I think they stepped it up 1 tooth or something to that, because I think their concern was because the car was bigger, a little bit heavier. But then they were running their version of a 550 motor in there. But now when you look online, I don't even think they sell the actual gear set that came in the 5th scales anymore. And as you can see, it broke right there at the housing for the bearing. And but I actually have those in aluminum. I don't have this part right here. Whoops. I don't have that part in aluminum, but luckily I do have 4 of the ones that go there. So I think I'm definitely going to put the aluminum ones there, but I don't know if it's showing up, but the tip of the axle actually got, or the axle itself got bent, the axle shaft. So I don't even know if I have any more long ones. I'll have to double check. But if I do, then you know, I'll swap it out. If not, I'll order some for it. Little quick tip on some tool. For those of you who probably run, you know, the 2-stroke gas motors, like the 5th scales and whatnot, you'll usually get this tool with it, and they're just basically like a spark plug wrench. But I found that this bigger end works perfect right on this nut, and it works way better than the actual plastic T-nut wrench that normally comes with these cars, so you can spin them off and on. So this is Jerry from Rampaz RC signing off. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoy making them. You know, I don't make money off of it. I just do it for the fun of it. I like watching the videos. There's a lot of great people out there who make videos. Basically, you got your scalers, you got your crawlers, people like me who do probably more on the mechanical aspects of it, the building, the modifying, things of that nature. But don't get me wrong, I enjoy playing with them, but as we all know, the more you play, the more they break. But there's nothing wrong with doing the repairs. It's just as much fun as getting a brand new one in a box and have to tear it down and put it back together and make sure nothing falls apart, right? So thank you for watching the video, and I'll try to get another one out there as soon as I can. I'm not quite sure what car I'm going to do. I'm still working on the axial wraith. Actually, that car is right here. So this is the axial wraith I've been doing. I think there's like a 3-part video, maybe a 4-part video out there. It's I actually was able to drive it already, but it still needs a lot more work done to it. I'm nowhere near done. You know, I still want to do the netting on the windows. I got a roof rack to mount up here. I think in the back here, I'm just going to drill a hole with a bolt through it, net it down, and use it as a spare tire carrier and stick a spare tire up there. I was originally going to do 2 roof racks, but I think I'm only going to do the one and then do a spare tire. This is probably the closest vehicle I would have right now that I could classify as, you know, scale. And if I remember right, I do believe they are. If I remember right, I do believe they are sold as scale. As you can see, I took all the headlights and stuck them in the front bumper. These were the actual headlights that sat in the back of the chassis itself, and then these ones were kind of up in the front. And then I still have the tail lights in there, and they're all function. They all turn on. I don't know how well you can see it, but I actually have a winch in there now. It's not wired in or anything, but it's mounted in. And then this plate right here, this is a mounting plate from RC 4-wheel drive. And basically you mount that in there, and it kind of kicks your front bumper out a little bit so that you could have room for the winch in there. But I haven't even had it hooked up to any power yet or not. So my luck, I plug it in, it probably won't work, right? But so that's where this one's at. But thank you for watching. Please look for future videos coming out. And I appreciate all of you who stood by me and watched the videos I do and sent in your comments. It means a lot to me. I'm not a videographer by any means. I'm just a technician in trade in real life. I found doing full-scale vehicles just starts getting too expensive, and you need a lot of space for it. But I really like RCs. They're small. You still pretty much like working on a full scale, but just smaller. And you don't get hurt as much, you know. You don't smash your finger or what have you. And then you'll see some of my videos where I've actually started doing some flying. I would like to start videotaping from the air, but I'm thinking that's going to still be a little ways away. So again, thank you, and I'm going to end it right here. So you guys have a great one, and hope to hear from you in the future. Thanks.